Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Anessa and I am an indie author from Toronto, Canada, and I publish under the pen name A.N. Sage. If you are new to this channel, then you should know I share mostly videos about writing, entrepreneurship, what it takes to be an entrepreneur and a writer. We do a lot of writing tips and things like that on this channel. And I also talk a lot about planning, which is a huge favorite of mine. So if you're into that kind of thing, I share videos here every single week. So make sure that you are subscribed and that you hit the notification button so that you don't miss any future videos coming out. In today's video, I'm actually going to be talking a little bit more, I guess it could do with writing as well, if that's the topic that you are going to go with. But I am talking about online course creation. Some tips that I have for online course creation. If you don't know, I am also a book cover designer, and I have created an online academy for cover designers and graphic designers that want to do book covers, where I have courses on different types of cover designs. The first course that I actually came up with was a fantasy book cover design. Sorry if you can hear that. My printer is just shutting down for a second and it's going a little crazy over there. But the first course that I have created was for fantasy book cover design, and I have had pretty good success with it. It is a master course, so it is more for people who already know Photoshop, know how to work with graphic design and digital art and photo bashing and things like that. So it is more of a master course, but I am working on adding more and more courses to the website. I have a free webinar that's out right now, which we'll talk about why that's important a little bit later in this video. So I went through a whole thing of creating an online course, and I thought it was important to talk about it because when you're thinking about having multiple income streams and different streams that are more passive, which of course is still a lot of work, but it is more passive in that you don't have to do something for it every single day once it's created. So if you're looking at creative, more passive income streams, and that is a big topic of conversation right now, and I'm a huge supporter of that. I know there's a lot of authors out there who are huge supporters of that, of just diversifying your income streams, that it's not just in the books, in the writing. And so just as having something like an online course and any kind of digital content that you create is really a big thing for today's kind of online economic environment. And so I really wanted to talk about it because I am kind of spreading out and I am diversifying my income streams even more. And a lot of it has to do with digital products. And I'll probably make a course in the future just on different digital products that you can create, not just to sell, but maybe for yourself as well. So we'll do a course on that, or a little video on that. But for today, I wanted to talk about online course creation. So this is actually not the first course I've created. I have worked with online course creations before. I've created different courses. A lot of them were for marketing and for different creative things. I am a creative by trade, basically. I've always been in the creative field in one way or another, even before I started being like an authorpreneur. You could call me that, I suppose. So it's not the first course I've created. And so I have quite a bit of experience with creating online courses. So I thought I would share some of the tips and some of that knowledge of kind of what it takes to create an online course. So if you're thinking about it, because it does sound quite simple at the beginning, right? When you, I think the first course I created, I thought was going to be like a piece of cake and it was going to be super simple. And I'm just going to sit down and chat about things and it was just going to come out and be great. And, I was going to make a ton of money, but that's not how it works. It is a lot of work. Creating an online course is more work than I think I ever anticipated. It's very rewarding work. I love it. You just have to kind of find your niche. And I'm pretty sure you'll love it too if this is something that you're looking into. So the first thing you want to do, really, before anything else, is figure out your course topic. What's your course going to be about? You want to pick something that you are an expert in, or that you know enough in that you can teach other people confidently. So it can be something, I mean, a lot of times you can learn on the spot, really, and you probably will learn some things on the spot as you're recording your course or creating it or scripting it. But for the most part, you want to pick a topic that you're very comfortable teaching. Think of this, I know it's online and it's pre-recorded, but if you were to go into a classroom and teach this course, would you have the confidence to teach it? So you want to pick a topic that you know a lot about. And that is not just because you want to be the expert in your field, so people have trust in you, because you're going to have to explain how you're the expert, who you are, and all of that. But also because aside from the actual trust topic of it, you need enough to talk about. You need material, right? And so if you're an expert in something, you're definitely going to have a well-packed course. And a well-packed course is what people are looking for, because that's something they want to spend money on. Then you want to do research. Whether you're an expert or not, you're going to be researching. You're going to research not just information for your course, but just kind of your structure, what you're going to be teaching, how you're going to be teaching, even things if you're going to be talking like this, like we are here, or if you're going to have screen shares, if you're going to have slides, things like that. So you want to really do your research. You also want to research other courses like that. So you want to see if there is competition, which is not bad, which is good, because that means that there's market demand. Or you want to see if it's a problem that you can help solve. So if there isn't competition, there isn't market demand, are people still looking for something like this? Is there a problem? And that if there is a problem, can your course solve that problem? So for my course, for example, fantasy book cover design, very niche down, right? The courses, the smaller courses I'm going to have are going to be more open and wide, but I really wanted a master course to be more niche down, more specific, because while there aren't that many courses specifically for cover design or fantasy cover design, I think it's something that needs to be out there. There's a lot of new designers coming into the field, and I think it's important to kind of share that knowledge and show them how to get into the entire business of fantasy book covers, because it's not as simple as 1, 2, 3, design the cover and go. There's a lot of things you need to know how to do, and a lot of them have to do with the actual graphic arts part of it. So I found that niche, and I thought it was important that a course be created within that niche. Even though the competition was not very high, I thought that there was a problem that could be solved. Then what you want to do is you have your topic and you've done your research and it's a good topic and you're ready to go. You want to find a hosting platform. So there's like a ton, I'm sure, of hosting platforms out there that are available to people. There's two big main ones that I can think of, and that's Thinkific and Teachable. So those are like the main ones that I can think of. I personally went with Thinkific because from the research that I was doing, while Teachable was upfront a little bit more affordable, as you start to grow, Thinkific was actually better with its pricing and what it could do, as far as I could see. So that was something that I went with. You could also go for something like Udemy or something like Skillshare, which is a different way. So if you look at something like Udemy, which is where I had my courses before, you will see that a lot of the courses there are lower priced, and you're looking for quantity. So there's a lot of, they're shorter and they're lower priced. My course was a lot of hours and it was more extensive. And so I wanted to host it on a platform that was more like a Thinkific or a Teachable platform. Then you have something like Skillshare, where a lot of people have courses on there, and you as a creator get paid by views or students or whatever it is. So just kind of do your research into how you want to host it, the platform you want to host it, and see where you want to go. And you can always host on different platforms or switch from one platform to another if you choose to do that. When you figured out your platform, your next step will be to brainstorm the content and the delivery of that content. So you want to think about just different. Sit down, make a bunch of notes for yourself. Like I had a whole binder going and scrap pieces of paper of just like different things that I wanted to teach people in this course. And then I would move it around with post-it notes and see like maybe this module could go here and this module could go here. Just have like a general brainstorm of what is going to be in your course and what you're going to be talking about, because it will help you structure your modules better once you have a general roadmap of like where they're going to go, like your start, your middle, your end, kind of like when you're plotting a book in the same way you're plotting a course. And then you want to think about delivery. So what's going to be the best way to teach your course? So for my specific course, and I'm using as an example for this, my best delivery was to have talking head like this, what we're doing here. And then also obviously screen share, because screen share is where I'm going to be showing people, where I am showing people in my course exactly how to do certain things in Photoshop, and we're making a book cover, right? So I need to be able to share my screen, and I need to be able to voice record as I'm sharing my screen. So that was my delivery. Your delivery might be better like for something like my webinar course, where I have a slideshow. Basically, it's a slideshow presentation that I'm doing voiceover and I'm speaking over. So maybe that's your delivery, or maybe you're not comfortable on camera and you just want to have just screen share or just slideshare. So that could be your delivery. Maybe your delivery is if you're doing like an art course, you're drawing, so it's all just filming from on top, right? Maybe your delivery is literally just talking like this. So just figure out how you're going to be delivering your course and just brainstorm some ideas for it. And you want to think about having some variety. So even if maybe you're not comfortable on camera, think about having different variations of things you could do. You might have to film some B-roll, just like, so it's not always the same thing over and over again. Because think about when you were like in school, do you remember how like if the teacher turned off the lights and put on like a presentation, it got a little repetitive. A lot of us fell asleep, especially when sitting in back. But it always like if it was the same monotone kind of idea, you want to break it up with different things. And then when you're done, we get into the bulk of the actual course creation. So you're going to start with writing your scripts. You need to write your scripts, no matter what it is. Please don't just wing it. If it's a course and you want to charge people for it, you need to have a general direction of where you're going. You're going to hit certain talking points. And for that, you need to have scripts ready. I would recommend when you're filming your course to figure out your filming equipment too. So you do want to have like a pretty decent setup for your, it doesn't have to be like you don't have to go and buy tens of thousands of dollars worth of camera equipment, but you want it to be a good setup for whichever form of delivery you figured it out. And if you have scripts, let's say if you're doing talking head, I would definitely recommend getting some kind of system where you can actually read those scripts as you're speaking, right? So you want some kind of teleprompter situation. I can link below the teleprompter that I use, and I'll link my equipment that I use to film my course below. And kind of like for the screen share, I just used QuickTime to screen share, and then I used my Blue Yeti mic, which I'll also link, to do the voiceover. To film, I used my Canon M50, and then I used a teleprompter that I got for fairly inexpensively off of Amazon, and just a teleprompter app on my cell phone. So think about how you're going to be showing those scripts, but make sure what you're doing is you're writing your scripts, and you want to write your scripts for every single module before you go to record. And once you have your scripts, now you can record. So now it's time to record. After all of that, you can start actually filming and editing your modules. So what modules are basically little mini classes, little big classes depending. Some of my modules are over an hour long because we're doing a lot of design work in every particular module. So it depends on the size and what you're doing. It could be different lengths, but you're going to be filming and editing every single module on its own as its own video, because later on when you're going to be uploading it, they're going up as single videos, single classes, online classes. So once you go through the filming and the editing, so the scripts, the filming and the editing as the bulk of your course creation. My course took I want to say probably 3 months. 3 months of total work of writing the scripts, filming, and editing every single module, because it takes time, right? And you're probably not going to be doing it every day unless you kind of like have like a few weeks to delegate to just do this full time. But when you're done with all of that and you have your different modules figured out, you want to think about resources. So are you going to have resources? And if those resources are sheets that you provide, like PDFs, are you going to have different tests or quizzes that you're going to be giving your students? Is there a work along kind of thing? So you got to think about what your resources are going to be. And that goes back to your delivery and the content of your course as well. And then you're going to be developing all of those. So for my course, I have a lot of links. I also have brushes that I offer and people can download and use. So those are kind of the resources that I'm giving for this particular course. However, when I had my previous courses before, sorry, what I actually had was different PDFs that I was offering with information on it. I had different worksheets because that's what was relevant to the course. And then I had basically like a project that we were working from beginning to end that people then had to submit to pass the course, right? So it was like a real classroom. So your resource sheets are very important. Your resource information is very important because that just gives your students like an extra, something more that they can expect and something more they're getting for their money. Then when you're done with that, you're going to be setting up your online classroom. So depending on which platform you went with, you're going to be setting up basically like a website page, right? You're going to set up your landing page. In Thinkific, there's almost like a mini website that you get where you have your landing page. There's different courses if you have a few different ones. And then what you're going to be setting up is every single one of your modules or your classes one by one. So you're going to be uploading your video. You're going to be writing what this module is about. So have all that copy ready. Just start thinking about your copy. You want to write copy about the actual course itself. You want to introduce people to the course. You want to introduce yourself as the instructor. Make sure that somewhere on your landing page or the course's landing page, people know who you are and why you're qualified to teach this specific course. And then you want to tell them what they can expect. So you're going to give them the breakdown of all the classes and just what they can expect in every single one. And then when you're done setting up your course, your next step is to figure out your pricing. So I would recommend when you're starting out, really look at the competition. So when I was pricing out this particular fantasy cover design course, because that was the only course that I was starting out with, I didn't want to price as high as the rest of the competition out there. So I actually cut the price in half. But then what I also did was I did an introductory launch month price. So I cut it even more just for that launch month. And that's a great way to promote your course, right? So you want to give the best offer you can right off the bat and let people know that that price is going up. And the great thing about places like Thinkific and like Teachable and stuff is that people get lifetime access. So make sure you note that somewhere, that if something gets updated or anything like that, or you get new resources, different freebies, whatever they're going to get, they get that with the course. So make sure that they know that in that price point, you get lifetime access guaranteed to this course. So they don't feel pressure. Also having some kind of money back guarantee is really nice, especially when you're new and people don't have that much like trust in you as an instructor yet. So that's good. If you are able to do any kind of payment plans, that's really good. So I will tell you, it's hard to do that at first. I don't have payment plans on my course because with most platforms, like with Thinkific and Teachable, in order to have payment plans, you have to upgrade your monthly plan to something quite much higher, to like a pro plan. And with Thinkific, for example, that pro plan can run you about like $80 to $100 a month. So you're paying $80 to $100 a month without a guarantee of students inflow to cover that, right? So think about that. Like, I made the choice that I'm not going to have payment plans until I have more students and more courses and like a regular flow of money coming in from these courses. And while the launch has been really good and has been going really well, I think I'm slowly getting there, but I'm not there yet where I can kind of justify like that extra expense to offer payment plans, but I will be soon. So just think about what your pricing is going to be. Take a look at what other people are pricing it, and maybe from the beginning, cut your price down to until you grow. And then your final step is going to be promoting your course. So you want to spread the word. Go on social media, find Facebook groups with people who are interested in topics like yours, and ask the admins if you can post about this course that you just had. Shout it from the rooftops. Tell your friends to tell their friends. Whatever you have to do, the same way you'd be promoting a book, you want to be promoting your course. And in that promotion, you might include some paid promotion. So maybe running some ads. So Facebook ads are actually pretty good for something like that. I know that it's been a bit tough with Facebook ads with targeting lately. But if you keep something that's more generic, if you don't try to niche down quite as much, I think you can get the word out pretty well. I actually did a boosted post, which I usually don't recommend for Facebook, any kind of advertising on Facebook, but I did a boosted post for my course for the launch, and it went really well. It did fantastic, and it got me a lot of new students. And then as you're promoting, you want to make sure that you're collecting emails somehow. So people who show interest in your course are usually putting in their email to look at it. So you want to be grabbing those emails, and you want to have some kind of plan to regularly follow up with them. Not every week, but maybe like once every couple of weeks, once a month. Just follow up with them and see like, oh, hey, thought you were interested. This course is still available, especially within that launch month. Just kind of send an email and be like, it's running out, time's running out to get it at that launch price. And then as a bonus, something that's really good to do when you have all of this other stuff, when you got all this months of work done, because we're not busy enough, is you want to think of some kind of leader magnet, right? So this is the same drip campaign that you would use for your books if you're an author, right? Like if you have something you're offering people to be on your newsletter, you can kind of do the same thing with a course. So for me, my leader magnet is that free webinar that I'm offering. And I'm advertising and putting ads, not because behind my paid course, but behind this free webinar. But what this free webinar is getting me, it's a webinar for people who are graphic artists or designers, and just it's done the business of how to open an digital art business, basically. So it's fairly broad, but these are the same people that might then be interested in maybe doing fantasy book cover designs, right? So as I'm running this free webinar, I am getting people's emails. They're signing up for a newsletter in order to participate and get the free webinar. And then what I'm doing is I'm slowly following first to thank them for the webinar, see if they have any kind of suggestions, how they felt about it, if it was helpful in any way, getting to know them the exact same way as you would have a drip campaign for your author newsletter. You would do this for this leader magnet of yours. And then towards the end, what you're going to do, and hopefully you do this at the end of your leader magnet as well, is talk to them about this course, this paid course. So you want to try to slowly drip down until you get to your hot kind of interested clients, potential clients or potential students. And then you're going to suggest to them this paid course that you have. So that is a great way to kind of do a bonus promotion on top of that, because there's nothing better than getting someone's email and being able to communicate with them one-on-one through email. So that's kind of the bulk of the steps that it takes to get an online course going. Of course, there's more, obviously a lot more in every single one of these steps, and it does take some time to get through them. But I really do think that if you're going to be any kind of entrepreneur, authorpreneur, as we call it, having these other streams of income out there, especially something like an online course, is a great way to not just connect to other people and to teach and to offer what you have learned to other people, but also to find readers if you're an author, for example, or find clients if it's something that is more like creative in that way, or just another creative outlet, really. I love working on the course. I worked on it even though like I didn't even care if it was going to make money or not. Like I just really loved the outlet of being able to create something different from everything else I was doing. It's a different platform. It's a different way to be creative. And I just really love the idea of it. So if you enjoy any kind of like online media or digital products of any kind, then I would definitely consider an online course as a source of income, or just something else that you could do creatively. So with that, let me know in the comments, you guys, if you're thinking of doing an online course and what you're thinking of doing it on, and why you decided on that topic, or if you're thinking of a different kind of stream, a digital stream of income, and what you thought of this video, if you thought it was helpful, or if you have any other questions about online course creation, I'd be more than happy to answer them both in the comments, or with maybe another video in the future. So let me know what you thought. I love hearing from you guys. I love interacting with you. I'm really super happy with this community right now. So I just want to get to know everybody here as much as possible. So with that said, I hope you all stay magical, and I will see you again next week in another video. Bye.